Well, good morning and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. We're going to be spending about the next 45 minutes together, working on a memory verse and putting on our makeup together. Okay, there it is. I wasn't sure that I could hear the music. Okay, so let's take a look at our foundation verse for this podcast. That is Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I may not sin against you. And I tell you, every time I say that verse together, I hear that Vacation Bible School song. So let me get over here and get that off your screen. There you go. All right, I'll get you guys turned on. I hear y'all dinging in the chat thing there. Okay, so last week we started working on Psalm 34, kind of not the whole thing, but a big part of it. And so last week our verse was, oh, magnify the Lord with me and let us exalt his name together. Now, I shared with you that song. I think it was it the Mississippi Mass Choir? No, Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir's version of that. So we're going to add on to that and add further onto that song for this week. And so we're going to go from Psalm 34:3, and now we're going to go to Psalm 34:4. So this week verse is, I sought the Lord and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. So I hope you listen to that song and begin to learn that with that song. Seriously, just love it. It's way too early in the morning, but you know what? Let's save that for the end. We'll sing that together at the very end. How about that? Okay, so this week we are going to be working with a new palette. It's not new, but it's new to me. And so this is the Fula. This is by Juvia's Place. Let me show you the colors we're going to be working with today. I know, aren't they amazing? All right, so let's see. So I sought the Lord and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. Now, let me get our chat turned on. There we go. So now I can see you. Good morning, everyone. Nice to have you with us. I was super surprised this past week. One of the countries that was like on the top of the list was Russia. So I have no idea if Russia is going to be my hot country this week, but you know what? It's great to have you with us, and can't wait to see what you do, hear what you do, and have you memorize these verses along with us. All right, so we are going to start with our full face step-by-step makeup tutorial with our Urban Decay. This is the all-nighter setting primer, and you are going to use this to just prime the face and get it ready. Literally one pump is all that you need for your whole face. Doesn't matter if you have dry skin, oily skin, combo skin, doesn't matter. This is going to help your foundation to perform better, to release the possibility for separation. It is going to a certain extent, kind of help control oil. It will definitely hold slide. So it is going to minimize fine lines, wrinkles, and pores. We're going to use it around our lips also to keep our lipstick to the inside. No creeping out here. All right. And then you can feel that's got just a little bit of tack. Want a little bit of tack so that foundation can, grab and stay where it's supposed to. So now we're going to move on to, I was going to say, speaking of foundation, but we didn't do our concealer yet. Okay, so this is the Bye Bye Under Eye. This is in the shade 11 Light Nude. And a little bit of this goes a long way. So we are going to take just a little tiny bit of that. And this does better when you blend it when it's warmed up to your body temperature a little bit. So we're just going to kind of put it in place. Anything that you do not want to see, you are going to conceal with this. So we're just going to kind of tap it sort of where we want it. And then we'll come back and blend it in just a second. So we're going to let it warm up. And while it's warming up, we're going to, it always leaves a lot on your finger. So I like to kind of wipe that off. Mine is a little bit lighter. I'm probably 2 shades lighter than my foundation shade, which is about where you want to be. And we are going to use, I'm just using the foundation brush. This is the Star, actually, this is the Christmas edition. But the Star one they created for their newest foundation, it's the same thing. So we're going to use the foundation brush to blend this out, and then we'll use the foundation brush for the foundation. Okay, so now that that's warmed up a little bit, we're just going to blend that out. Going to use that like a primer on the eye. There we go. Just blend that out onto that lid. Then we're going to gently blend it out under the eye. Now, if you are blessed and you don't have any darkness or purple or anything happening under your eye, you might not need quite as much concealer as what I was using. I have kind of a purple thing, dark thing going on, so we're going to lighten up that area ever so slightly, so that when I get the foundation on there, it can actually do its job more effectively. So this is just kind of prep work. It's like priming the wall in your house before you paint it. All right, so you can see that just kind of washed everything out. I have no darkness now. It lifted it, elevated it just so ever slightly. So when we put our foundation on, it'll be able to actually be its true color. All right, so I'm using the Urban Decay. This is their new face bond. I am the number 5 Fair Neutral. With this one, you do want to shake it a little bit before you put it on, and the cap just pulls off. So this is a self-setting, so it does dry down a little bit fast. Once it dries down, you're pretty much not going to be able to move it, which is what you want. So we're just going to work the lower half of the face and then the top half. So taking the brush, we're just going to put, I don't know, not quite a pea size, about that much there. And that will do the whole bottom of our face. So we're just going to kind of tap it. And then we're going to blend it. And you're going to work it right up into that concealer that you just put on. And I kind of like the circular motions because then you don't end up with any streaking, no splotchy things. And then we're just going to kind of stipple it in there too. Working around the nose. Maybe you have a smaller one than me. You don't got to worry about that so much. Making sure we hit in that cupid's bow there, so we got nice foundation right in there. Blend that out to the chin, so that's all nice. Getting it out to the hairline. And about this point, you're going to notice that your foundation is set. So anything I'm still tapping isn't really doing anything. I'm telling you, it just sets beautifully. Okay, so now we're going to work out the forehead. So we're going to take less than we just did. We're going to do about that much. And we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to tap it all around the forehead, and then we're going to blend it out. Make sure you get it up into that hairline a little. We don't want it goopy into the hairline, but we do want it in there a little bit so it blends out. And then working around the brows there too. Yes, I know some people do their shadow and their brows first. I think that's depending on the look that you're doing, and then also just more personal preference. And today's shadow is pretty fun. We actually could have done it ahead of time and then come back in and put the foundation, but I don't know. I'm just used to it this way. We're not doing any sharp lines or anything, so for today, we're just going to do it this way. All right, now you got your foundation. So now we're going to set that bad boy. So I am using the Hourglass, and this is the Hourglass Veil. This is just a nice, slightly banana colored setting powder. So you're going to get a little bit of kind of evening out of the tone, but it doesn't change it. So you just tip that upside down, and that's going to leave you the, ooh, that almost went out. It's going to leave you the exact right amount in that little reservoir there. So we're going to start out with the pointy tip of our Beauty Blender puff and get some on there and then tap it off. And we're going to start out by working around the eye and just set that foundation that you put there. You can leave a little excess under the eye if you'd like to, in case you have any fallout. That will give something to fluff it off. And remember, we're being gentle around that eye area. Okay, now we're going to switch to the bigger end of that Beauty Blender. Get it on there, tap it off. Okay, so what are the things that I like about using a puff over a brush? For one thing, I don't end up with all of it into the atmosphere of my room and expensive dust. I also like being able to press it in. And I just feel like you've got more product being used for what you paid for it to be used for when you use a beauty puff. You can use a beauty blender too if you want to do that. There are special ones whose pores are made for powder application. You can do that too. I just kind of like the soft fluffiness of this beauty blender puff. It's kind of a velvety texture, but it holds it nice. The powder stays kind of on the surface of it, so you don't lose a lot of it to the inside of the puff. No sense in having an expensive puff. All right, so we're going to set that to the side if I can get the lid on. There we go. And let's work on our contouring now. So we are going to be using, actually, one of the things is going to be a new product. We'll get to that when we get there. So we're going to start out with, this is actually a foundation brush. This is from It Cosmetics. We're going to use this end for the bronzer and this end for the highlight. Very carefully, that end for the highlighter. So we're going to be using our Benefit Hoola bronzer. This is just you can see how much I like it. This is just a nice little bit of warmth, but kind of cool too, bronzer. We're going to go right from the top of the ear, kind of in a curve to about where the nose is. We're not going to go all the way that far. Just about right here. If you go past the center of your eye, a little too far. Oh, now I forgot which end's up. Okay. So just above where the hollow of your cheek is or should be, depending on the shape of your face. If your face is round like mine, it should be. And same thing on the other side. Still using the flat side. We're going to work that in a little bit up along that hairline. Now we're going to switch to the side of that. Using a neutral face right under the jawline. That's going to give you a little more. See the difference between those two sides there? This one's got a little more, what do you call it? Shape. And we're just going to minimize those. If you got a double chin or if you just have a, whatever that is there, kind of makes it go away a little bit. So now still using the side, we're going to chisel out our nose, give it a little more shape, make it a little more narrow. There we go. Make sure you like the depth and intensity. Okay, now we're going to move to our highlighter. I told you we're going to play with something new. It's not really a new product, but it's just not one I have used before. This is the Juvia's Place. This is the loose highlighter. I will tell you, this is a lot. So when you use your brush on this, this tips upside down and you shake it out just like you would a setting powder, like this here, hence the loose. But I would encourage you, don't use it from that reservoir. Grab the lid and do it from the lid because a little of this goes a long way. So we're going to use this right here and you're going to just like tap, tap. And then we're going to tap that off too. Okay. So right along the top of the cheekbone, beside the brow bone here. But look at that shimmer. Not glitter, shimmer. So beautiful. And this is kind of a champagne-y neutral sort of color. And we're just going to work that down the center of the face, making sure we hit that Cupid's bow right there. And you can always come back with more of this later if you decide you want more. Once you get more on there, though, you kind of stuck with it. So start out a little gentle. Okay, now we're going to switch to our blush brush. This is just a general purpose blush brush. We're going to be using the Juvia's Place. This is the volume 4. And today, We've got a lot of color going on the eye, so we're going to use this one here. I'm so excited to use the Fula. Okay, so you're just going to tap that in, and we're going to work between the bronzer and the highlighter, and between the bronzer and the highlighter up the temple. And now, right, just for the sake of blending and face going together, you're just going to work a little bit of that over that bronzer there. And then whatever you have left on your brush, just catch the tip of that nose and your chin. All right. Now we are, oh, you know what I didn't do? I'm so sorry. Let us get over here because we do not have our verse crawling across the bottom of the screen. I was just about ready to say, now we need to say our verse together. And I looked down and saw it wasn't there for you. My apologies. All right. So we're going to say the verse together and then move on to our lips. So here it goes. It's rolling around to you. I sought the Lord and he answered me. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to sing it in my head while I'm doing this. I saw the Lord and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. There we go. And that's Psalm 34. Are we in 4 today? Psalm 34:4? Yes, Psalm 34:4. Okay. Let me get over here. It's way easier sometimes to remember the song version of it. All right, and I got a little something happening here. We've got a lot of pollen in the air because of people mowing and stuff. So there's that. So let's begin with our lips. Now, super excited. We're going to use 3 things today. First thing is we're going to use the Juvia's Place. This is the Luxe Liner in the color Coffee Bean. And then we're going to be using the MAC. This is a matte lipstick in the color Antique Velvet. And then let me get that down. And then we're going to work in the center with the MAC Satin. And this is Bad and Bear. Okay, so let's start out with that Coffee Bean. This is a retractable lip liner, so you don't need to sharpen it or anything. And we are going to ride on that lip line and catch as much lip real estate as possible. And I do like to start in the Cupid's bow so I can get a nice shape there before I round that out to the corner. There you go. Make sure you got your Cupid's bow even. And now let's work out the bottom. All right. Now we're going to take just a little bit lighter pressure and come just to the inside of that line and line to the inside. And it can be a little messy. You don't have to worry about that. All right. Now we're going to take our darker color, which is the Antique Velvet, the matte Antique Velvet. Just a beautiful brown color. This we're going to go right over the lip liner that we just did, just kind of on the outside edge. So we're going to leave the inside blank for the Bad and Bear. So use the pointy part of the lipstick. There you go. And then we're going to take that Bad and Bear and we're going to fill in that middle part. The Bad and Bear is a little bit lighter. There we go. And that just gave us a nice kind of neutral lip. Love that coffee color, but it's going to kind of balance out the eye that we're doing today. Okay, so now we're going to have some fun with the Fula. Okay, so here's where we're going to be living today. So this is the Fula. And then, oh, you know what? Let me get back over to my chat. I can hear y'all dinging. Let me see what we got. That's correct. Fula, the Fula. And it's a mini palette. It's got 9 colors, so it's a 9-pan. And we're going to be living in, we're going to use this one here, which is Zuba. We're going to be using the Marrakesh. We're going to be using Zohra. We're going to use Nomad. I think we use Taza. And then a little bit, oh my gosh, we're just going to be all over the palette. Okay, so let's just get started. I am going to start out with an all over shadow brush, and we're going to begin by using the Zuba. So the Zuba, we're going to do that right here in the crease and blend that up ever so slightly up here. We'll get that all in there, just from the crease up. Yes, I will be doing a lash today. And actually, it's a new pair of lashes. So we're going to do the trim and everything today. Okay, so again, this is using the Zuba. And we're just going from that crease up. Okay, and that was with a kind of a basic all over shadow brush. Now we're going to switch to an angled brush. And that's going to help us to be a little more precise in the crease. And then also we'll be able to feather that out and blend that out when we get to that there. All right. So we're going to be using Marrakesh for this. So Marrakesh is this one right here. Kind of that, oh, there we go. Kind of that nice orangey reddish kind of color. And we're going to be using that to blend out that crease and add some depth in the crease. So you're going to take the flat end of that brush and we're just going to place that right there. Now, if you have hooded eyes like I do, you're going to want to bring that up. And you can do this look according to how much intensity you want. Go over it less if you want less color. Go over it more if you want more color. Your call how intense you want it. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Working in that crease. And then bringing that up. You know, I'm surprised how much I like that. I do usually like the oranges though, because they make my blue just really go woo. Or some people might summarize by saying pop. All right. I know. Okay, so for those of you that have hooded eyes, here's what I want you to do. Well, hooded eyes or not. Now that you've got the Marrakesh on there, I want you to look straight ahead in the mirror. And when you do, I want you to be able to see that Marrakesh over the top of your eye opening. So as you look forward, you want to see Marrakesh up above there. If you don't, bring it up a little bit more. And let me just get in that crease just a little bit. Ah, that's such a pretty color. All right, we're going to set that brush aside. And now we're going to use, oh, please tell me I grabbed it. Yes, I did. this is a smudger. And I like the flat long one for what we're fixing to do. There are some that are like the little bullets, and those have their purpose too. For what we're doing right now though, let's use a flat smudger. One reason is because this shadow, while it's not a pigment, it really is a shadow, but it's a little falling outy. So because it has so much pigment in it, you want all of it to end up on your eyelid. So this will help you like be able to put it exactly where you want it. So you just want a nice little fine smudger for this. And so now we're going to be using Nomad. And that is this color right here. And I got a little, there we go. There we go. Okay, so Nomad, we're going to use the flat kind of tip of that and then tap it out. And we're going to go right in the outside corner here. And we're going to go about halfway across. Wow, that's so beautiful. And we're going to go just up into where we put Marrakesh. And then about that halfway mark, just kind of blend it a little bit. And then let's do the same thing on the other side. Just putting that where we want it. And then we're going to go up past Marrakesh there. And blending it about halfway. And we'll work on some more blend of that in a minute, so you don't need to be too, worried about it. And again, the intensity that you want will be how many times you go over this. Now to blend that out up here, I'm going to grab the angled brush that we use for the Marrakesh. You don't need to put anything on it. You're just going to go over those two together with kind of that tip to blend that out. There you go. We're just working them together there. Now you want to make sure if you have any fallout, just use your brush and get rid of it. Now, if you notice when you did your blending that you removed any of the intensity, you can just go back and add that in. Sometimes when you blend out, it sort of removes the color. There you go. Okay, any fallout? All right, now we are going to cut in a little bit so that we can add the glitters that are in the palette. So I am going to take, this is, I believe, a liner brush, but see how nice and flat that is? We're going to do that, and we're going to use, if I can find it, there we go. This is the NYX Glitter Primer, and we're going to be using that just so that when we get these on there, they're going to stay put. So the glitter primer is just kind of a nice sticky tacky, there we go, and just sort of a white color. So we're going to get that on the inside of the eye here and go all the way up. Ooh. Okay, and we're just going to give that a nice shape from the tip all the way up. And we're going to blend that. There you go. You can see it got a little kind of blurred and muddy in there. That's okay. We want that green to kind of come, or the teal to kind of come over a little bit. So we're going to use that from the inside. Going to come up. And yet try not to get the brush in your eye. Okay, I'm going to bring this side out just a little. Okay, there we go. I'm going to bring it over just a little. There we go. And you'll feel that that glitter primer has made your eyelid a little tacky. That's so when we get our color on here in just a minute, it is going to go there and it is going to stay there. Okay, so we are going to start with Aziza, which is this one right here. And then we're going to go to, yeah, let's do the Aziza verse. Okay, so I'm going to be using an eyeliner brush. And we're going to use the side of it. This is just going to help us to precision get that Aziza where we want it. So you're just going to get it on one side, and then we're just going to set it in there. I actually feel like we might be able to use an actual eyeshadow brush. Let me see. Here, let's try this one. This one is just a flat, this is a MAC 104. Behaves kind of like your finger. And we're just going to press that in. Oh, yeah. And we're going to work that to about the halfway. And then let's just drag it over a little right here. And use that edge. Wow, can you see how just shimmery and beautiful that is? I think I am obsessed. Okay. Now I'm just going to wipe off the brush that I was just using for the next color because we're going to be using Zora, which is this one right here. And we're going to do that one again, just on one side. This is your finger. And we're just going to press that in right here. That is so beautiful. Can you see that? Wow. And then right where the two colors meet, just kind of blend them together, sort of padding as you go along. When you got it where you want it, catch any fallout that you got. All right. And then let's get our liner on, and then we'll work on some of the bottom lash area. So I'm going to be using the NYX. This is the retractable liner in the black. We're going to work from the outside corner to about halfway. Okay, and then on the lower, from the outside corner about halfway, right on that lash line, we just want like a nice little, we're going to blend into it. We just want a little definition. There you go, just a little bit. And then get that out. There you go. All right. We'll come back and do the liquid liner in just a minute. Let's go ahead and blend out the bottom. So on the bottom, we are going to be using the smudger that we had used with the, what is that color called? Nomad. Excuse me. So we're going to be using Nomad. Actually, first let's put some Aziza down there. So go ahead and wipe it off, so you don't have that Nomad muddy in it up there. All right. And we're going to just get it on the tip. No, Marrakesh. Just kidding. Marrakesh. So this color here. Just get it on that tip there. We're just going to blend that right along that lash line. Oh, yeah. If you have blue eyes, they are going to so love this color combo. And just gently blend that along that lower lid. Okay, and then we're going to come around the corner here, meet up with that Marrakesh we put on the top. Okay, same brush, don't need to do anything else, but we're gonna go into that Nomad. We're gonna grab that Nomad right out here on the outside, and you're gonna go about halfway. And then let's get that in the outside corner. We want to make sure that outside corner is nice and intense there. And it looks like when I blended a little bit of it out. So let's get that back. And I'm kind of dipping into the what's that called? Zora. Just to kind of make that all nice and blended out. There we go. Okay. Woo woo. Okay. So we're going to grab the, I'm going to call it the finger brush. We're going to grab this one right here. And we're going to wipe off the tip. And now we're going to do a little accenting with fez. So we're going to start out on the inner corner, and then we're going to get a little on the brow bone here. So the inner corner first. Now fez is like that beautiful gold. So we want it just right here on that inner corner. Don't overwork it too much. Okay, now we're going to take a fluffy, which I didn't actually grab. Okay, so improvise. We're going to take, actually, you know what? Let's use that all over shadow brush that I started out with. We'll do that one because it's the fluffiest thing I got right now. Okay, so we're going to tap the edge of it, the front edge right here, just into it a little bit. Going to get a little on that edge. And we're just going to brush that right here on the outside of that brow. Oh, so pretty. Gonna go about halfway. You know what? Let's do something a little fancy with that here in just a second. So don't let that go too far from you. And let's just do that there. All right. So you can see what we've got going on now. There we go. Right there. Nice. Nice and shadowy. We've got a nice little sort of a blended but a cut crease going on in there. Now we're going to take our liquid liner. We are going to wear lashes. So we're going to take our liquid liner. We're going to line right along that top of the lid so that we can cover any gap or whatever, make those lashes just look seamless. Okay, so I am using the Too Faced. This is the Better Than Sex Easy Glide Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. This is in the shade black. So we're just going to run a thin line from the very outside edge to the inside edge. And this is waterproof, hence the name. So once it dries down, it is not going anywhere. All right. And that's just going to kind of hide any sins. So now let's work on our brows a little bit and then we'll move to our lashes. So I am going to, let me find my brow. There we go. Fashion colored hair. Mine is getting ready for a redo. So that will be exciting. Have something new next week for you. But I'm going to be using the Festival from Juvia's Place. And my eyebrow colored hair is Manwu right here. So you're just going to take that brow brush, use that shadow, and just work it right into your brow. Easy peasy. Don't need to make it too complicated. If you want, and you want it a little more, if you'd like more of a, defined, you can add a little setting spray to your brush, and that will help that. I kind of like, oh, excuse me. Thank you for the bless you. That is going to, if you use the setting spray with it, it'll help it to be more of a bold color. And then also it'll be more like a line. I kind of like it being a little vague. Not so definitive. So you're going to just get that brow shape right exactly where you want it. And if you have, normal people colored hair, you can come see my girl Olivia. She can thread, she can laminate, she can wax, she can tweeze. You got anything with your brow, Olivia's got you for that. And make sure you can do walk-ins, yes. Or you can schedule an appointment so that way you're sure when you get there that she's going to be there and ready for you. Either way, your pleasure. Okay, now I told you we were going to do something fun when we got to the brow. So the liner brush, well, actually, you can use this one. Okay, so the liner brush that we were using when we put that in the corner, I want you to grab your Fula palette again and just get the tip of it into, what was that called again? Fez. And we're going to get just a little bit on that tip, and I want you to run it in a line kind of just under your brow right here. We're just going to give that a little accent right under the brow. Yeah, I'd say about halfway. And then blend that out just a little bit. Oh, yeah. In fact, let's just take the tip of that brush again and let's just blend. Woo-woo. Okay. Woo, like that. Yeah, that added just a little punch we needed. Okay, so any fallout, go ahead and get rid of that. And now we are going to add our mascara so we can put our lashes on. If you have black lashes, you probably don't need to do that. But for those of us who have, can you see them? Clear lashes, you're going to need to do this. So I am using the L'Oreal Voluminous Waterproof Mascara. Sorry, I was showing you the French side. So for those of you from France, there you go. You're welcome. And we're going to start out by curling our lashes, and then we are going to put a little mascara. Well, no matter what color your lashes are, you're going to want to hit your bottom lashes. So you can join us when we get to that part. So we've got our verse scrolling across the screen. We'll use that as our timer there. So let's start out by getting that lash curler ready. You want it, when you pinch it down, you want it close to the base of your lash, but you don't want it pinching your eyelid. If it's pinching your eyelid at all, let it go, pull it out just a little bit, and then do it again. So we want to make sure we're close, but not harmful, because you can also pull your lashes out if you're not careful. Okay, so we're going to get this here. Here, you know what? I am going to need, let me get here. Okay, there we go. There we go. So get your lash curler ready. We're actually going to say the verse twice for each eye because it's a short verse. Okay, so got it ready? Here we go. And go. I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. Psalm 34:4. Here we go again. I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. Psalm 34:4. Okay, and go to the other side. Find your sweet spot there. Ready? Okay, there we go. I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. Psalm 34:4. One more time. I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. Psalm 34:4. Okay, perfect. Okay, now I can see right now, because of the thing I've got going on, I am getting a little bit of that happening. So let's get that out the way. There you go. If you have an eye watering before that liner sets, it can bleed out just a little bit. And that's what was happening because of the allergies in the air. Okay, now let's get that mascara on. We're just doing a light coat because we're going to put lashes on here in just a minute. But we want our lashes to blend in. So mine need to be black. There we go. Using that tip to just get right in there where I want it. And one coat will pretty much do you on that one. So let's move to the bottom lashes now. And I think I have plumbers working out front, so sorry you're hearing my camera tell me that there is motion detected out front. And we want to make sure we get good coverage on those bottom ones. There we go. And then the other side. Okay. Make sure you're liking both sides. Nice. Yeah, that shimmer is just so beautiful. Okay. So I mentioned that we were going to be using a brand new set of lashes. So this is the Juvia's Place. This is the Nubian Lash, and this is in Zarya. Now, you know I've used Zarya before because it's like one of my favorites, but this is a brand new set of lashes. So things I like about this lash. Number one, it's a flare. So the inside is going to be a little bit shorter from the outside, and that's just going to help you to know which side is which side. So you can't get it confused. So we're going to trim from the outside of the eye. So what I want you to do is use your velour tool, and you're just going to grab the outside corner of this and pull the lashes off of the tray. And then let's get that. There we go. Once you have the lash off of the tray, put that tool right in the middle of the lash so you can kind of get a dry fit. You're just going to set that bad boy on there and take a look and see if it's too long. If it's actually going from all the way here to all the way here, it's a little too long. You need just a little bit shorter than that. So I'm going to take a little bit off of the outside edge there. So we're going to take our velour lash tools right here, and we're just going to cut. Okay, that's hard to do with that. We're just going to cut a piece off of the outside edge and then just discard that. You don't need to keep that. And then your lash will be ready. So we're going to go to the other side and we're going to do the exact same thing. You would think that both your eyes are the same. They are not. So do the dry fit on both sides. Now, once you've wore the same pair of lashes a couple of times, you don't need to really do this anymore because you get familiar with how much for that particular lash you need to take off. So again, we're going to set it there. We're going to check and see the inside edge. We're going to check the outside edge. And this one is clearly too long. This is my smaller eye. So we're going to cut a little piece off of the outside edge of this one as well. Okay. And then we're going to set those on the table in front of us. I have no idea where that little tuft just went. Oh, there it goes. Okay. And then we are going to grab our lash adhesive. I am using the Allure. This is the 18-hour lash glue. I like this one because has like a little paddle on it instead of a little bit of a brush. And so it just blends on nicely, and also it holds like ridiculously well. Okay, so you can see that this has like a little paddle on the end of it. So we're going to use, well, first, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself here. This is a new set of lashes, so you need to kind of break them in. So we're going to grab either edge of the lash, and you're just going to walk it around like this to kind of soften up that band. And let's just go ahead and do that same thing with the other side. Grab the outside edge, and you're just going to soften that band. We're breaking it in like the binding of a book. Okay, I guess we'll just start with this one since we're here. Okay, so again, lash adhesive. You're going to go on the top edge all the way around on this. And then we're going to get a little more adhesive, and we're going to do the back edge, the flat part of the band that's going to go right up against your lash line. And we want to be able to see, if you're using a black colored adhesive, can't really help you out here other than you'd be looking for the shine. I like the clear one because it's usually a little bit of a white color. And then no matter what color your skin is, it's not going to show. So we're going to first do the one lash, and then we're going to do the second lash. So holding it in the middle. You can use the tool if you want to. For whatever reason, today my finger's working better. Okay, and the adhesive is first going to go on the top edge, and then we're going to come to the inside, and we're going to do it on that flat inside edge of that band. You'll notice when you get that adhesive on there that it's very, very glossy. And that's because it's like completely wet. And so we want it to dry down just a smidge. You also want to make sure you catch the corners pretty good so that they're fully adhesived. Okay, I know, I just can't with myself. All right, so how about if I drop something? Okay. So now we're going to take our lash tool. we're going to give that lash adhesive just a second to kind of set a little bit. I have seen some people who put adhesive on their eyelid as well. I've tried that a couple of times and it ends up just transferring to the top part of my eyelid. Not ideal. So we're just going to let that adhesive set for just a second. And once it starts to get like a little bit dull, you'll know you're in the right place. You can kind of speed it along and you sort of fan it. If it feels like completely cold and wet when you set it onto your lid, it's probably a little too wet still, but you can still work with it. Okay, so we're going to set that down right in the middle of our lid, right where your lash is meeting the skin of your lid. And then you're just going to walk it around. So we're going to get that inside corner first. And then we're going to grab the outside corner and have that meet contact with our skin. And then just get them together. There you go. You might need to play with it a little bit, especially when it's a new lash. There you go. And then we're going to work our lashes into it. Oh my gosh, I'm reminded now why these are my favorite. And you can see how much a nice set of lashes just opens up your eye and completes that look. So now let's grab the other one. Again, we're holding it in the middle. We're going to fan it just a little bit. And then we're going to set it right there in the middle, right where your lash is touching the skin of your lid. And it doesn't really matter if you start on the inside or if you start on the outside. You'll develop a routine and a rhythm for what works best for you. Gotta love it when you touch the light. There you go. And then we're going to take that and we're just going to kind of smush them together and make sure that they're as low and together as possible. We're going to work our lashes into the lashes. And if you're like me and you got allergies and your eyes are watering, we're just going to tap that so that it doesn't get into our adhesive while it's trying to set. There we go. And I do have a little, there we go. So I am going to take a liner brush. And I'm telling you, this is like real time. This is how you know this is real. So what has happened is my eyeshadow has been removed just a little bit because of the tearing from the allergies happening. So I'm going to take this liner brush. We're going to go into the Nomad and we're just going to fix it over here. There we go. Nice. And I think the rest of that has stayed nicely and politely. Okay, so let's come down here. So the last thing that we have, so we've got our lashes set. And if you want, you can kind of, just press them in to make sure everything is good and get in the way good. By now, you should be pretty much, your glues should be set. And you should be good to go for the rest of the day. So we want to make sure that our makeup is set too. So once you have got everything all where you want it, let me just look back. Oh, I love that. We are going to use our Juvia's Place. This is the Ready, Set, Sealed. And this is really fine. Love the smell of this. Just give it a little bit of a shake. Tip your head back. Gonna fan it down. I really do need to get like some kind of fancy fan, huh? All right. And now you are all set. You are all ready to go. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It has been a joy to be here with you. I look forward to chatting with you throughout the week on social media, or better yet, come see me at my store in Midlothian, Texas. So let's review our verse that we have for today. Let me get over here. We're going to get that off. There we go. Okay, and our verse for today is, I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. And that's Psalm 34:4. So if you were with us last week and you saw last week's verse, which was 34:3, oh, magnify the Lord with me and let us exalt his name together. If you watched that YouTube song that we had, which was a Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir, I believe, so much fun. So, sing your verses. It will help you remember. I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears. Okay, it is going to help. You will have Psalm 34 memorized in absolutely no time at all. I assure you of that. So you can find a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus on your favorite podcast platform. Apple Podcasts, Podbean, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you get it. So let me send you out with a blessing and a prayer this week as we go throughout our lives. Send me a picture of what you're doing. Let me see what you got going. You can private message me if you want, or put it in as a comment. I would love to see what you did with this. You can use whatever shadow palette you want, but if you use the Fula, let's see what you got. Okay, so our verse that we're going to be sent out with is the Lord bless you. So if you know this, join it, sing it with me. The Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his face toward you and give you peace. Oh, Heavenly Father, how thankful I am for all the people who have hung out with me here today. Whether you are watching it live or you are watching it as a repeat on a podcast platform, I am so thankful that you're here. And I pray that the Lord bless you this week, that you would take these words that we are learning and that you would hide them in your heart, that you would have them ready and accessible for yourself, for the Holy Spirit to just bring them to mind, to help bring you joy and a reminder. And then for those that you encounter, that these words you hide will be used to give joy and edification and glory to God wherever it is that you are. Father, I just pray that you would bless them this week. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Well, it has been a beautiful day with you, and I pray that you have a beautiful rest of this week, and I look forward to seeing you later. Goodbye. Love you.